Children, today we will be doing with the concept of pushing and pulling of a roller. And the end of the lecture, I will ask you which one is easier, pushing is easier or pulling is easier. Okay. Now before we come with the answer, which one is easier, let us see what exactly. Let us suppose this is the ground level and you have taken a roller like this. Okay. Then when you have taken the roller, this is the line of action, and this is the center of the roller, and you are applying a force F here. This is the case of pulling. This is the case of pulling. Okay. So you have applied a force and you are trying to pull this roller. Now when you are pulling this roller, then let us see how we can represent it more in a diagrammatic form. This is the direction of the force, right? Let us assume this is making an angle theta. Here we have got the normal reaction, and let us assume the normal reaction we have taken is R1. So R1 is the normal reaction here. Normal reaction. F is the force of pulling. Theta is the angle. Now in this case, what you really find that this is let us assume this is the center. Don't take this into consideration. This is the center. Okay, and this was your surface. Now you very well understand the weight will be acting vertically downward, and here the force with which we are pulling the roller, is divided into component. This is F sin theta, and this will become F cos theta. Now if you get to see your figure, then R1 and F cos theta are in the same direction and mg is in the downward direction, right? Now what we need to find out, we are bothered about the frictional force. Now the frictional force here is equals to mu s R1. Okay, now when we talk about R1, how to get R1? So here if you get to see the general case, then we can very well write, these two are in the upper direction, that is R1 plus F cos theta is equals to mg. So R1 is equals to mg minus F cos theta, isn't it? So let us substitute here. This is mu suffix s and this is mg minus F cos theta. This is the case which we get when we are pulling it up. But now let us see the case when we are pushing. For pushing, let us take the condition same. This is the line and this is the line of action. This is the center O and this is F. This is theta. Okay, and here we light, and let us take the cross sections like this. This is the lower surface, this is mg, and here take the center O, and the center O is again the center O. We have got center O, and here we are in the case of pushing. We are doing the case of pushing. Okay, so obviously the direction of the force comes just like this. This is theta, and then again if we take the component, this becomes F sin theta, this becomes F cos theta, and here we have got the normal reaction R2 and this. Now if you get to see the lines, then the direction of R2 is up, but the direction of this F cos theta is down, and mg is also down. So R2 is equals to F cos theta plus mg, isn't it? So again we go with the same formula, frictional force. This is for the second condition, mu s R2, and this becomes equals to mu s F cos theta plus mg. Now if you get to see the condition, then here we have got F cos theta plus mg, and here it is F mg minus F cos theta. Here the component F cos theta is getting added up, and here the component F cos theta is getting subtracted by the weight. Now in both the case, what will you find? That here you are, whatever is the weight, this factor is getting reduced. It means the weight is getting reduced by this factor, and here the weight is getting increased by that factor. So ultimately what you really find, that ultimately pulling is always a easy process as compared to pushing. So we come with the answer here. It is easier to pull than to push. So this is the ideology, this is the thing that we have, and we have very well understood in the terms of its component. Now there are some things that we need to know about the frictional force. Now frictional force is a non-conservative force. There are main features that you know. Frictional force is non-conservative. Because it depends upon, it is path dependent. It depends upon the path. And since it depends upon the path, so the work done, if for a complete trip, complete round trip, is never zero. So these things are, you have to keep in your mind when you do with friction, that friction is a non-conservative force. How can you increase friction? How can you reduce friction? Reducing friction, one process is lubrication. Second point is the choice of material. If you take such material which has got less, which is not that rough, then it is reducing friction. Then you can use ball bearings, use of ball bearings. So all these things, there are many things that comes in the way to reduce friction. Now it's always said friction is a necessary evil. With this I would like to complete with my topic on friction. Necessary evil. Why necessary evil? Because if friction is there, then only you have so many things that you are able to write, you are able to walk. And because of friction, there are lots of time we face problems that the work done is lost in the form of heat. So if friction is not there, our sustainability will be a question mark, but again we need it. But at the same time, we have to work on the conditions so that we can reduce the friction. Thank you.